Personal style is dead. Fashion is superficial and clothes are just frivolous. You've probably heard it somewhere, or you even thought it yourself. And I get it, the fashion industry is full of bullshit and can be extremely toxic. Fast fashion, as much as luxury fashion, influencer culture, and trend cycles designed to keep you buying more and more and more. But here's what I've learned after 13 years working in fashion. The people who say personal style doesn't matter are usually the ones hiding behind that belief. But here's the undeniable truth, and this isn't my opinion. It's backed by science and research. The clothes you wear affect how you feel, think, and behave. So in this video, I'm going to present you 10 reasons why investing in your appearance and personal style isn't just vanity, superficial, or frivolous. It's psychology, strategy, and even self-preservation. But first, if you're new here or if you haven't seen me in a while, let me reintroduce myself. Hi, my name is Felipe. I've been creating fashion content for over 13 years and I'm a personal stylist. And if you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, this video might feel different because I've changed and I've grown. 3 years ago, I was making videos about styling tips, outfit ideas, and recent pickups, and that was okay, but I have a slightly different approach now. For the past few years, I've been on a mission to help people show up authentically through their style, because I've experienced firsthand how powerful and transformative that can be. In 2023, I was invited to give a TED Talk on men's fashion and self-expression in my third language, which is English, and with zero prior public speaking experience. I was interviewed by Vogue and I won the Social Style Hero Award in 2024. All of that didn't happen because I was lucky. It happened because I stopped pretending to be the person I was expected to be and finally realized that being my true self is my unfair advantage in a world where authenticity is becoming a scarce resource. Once I started showing up as my authentic self and letting my style reflect that, everything changed. And if that makes you cringe, that probably means that you don't know who the fuck you are yet. And that's okay, because hopefully this video will spark something in you. So let's get into it. Number 1. Every day is a gift. Don't wait for special occasions to wear your favorite outfits. You probably have those special pieces and outfits collecting dust in your wardrobe that make you feel your best, but you keep saving them for special occasions. But here's my question. Why? Why do you think external circumstances get to dictate how you dress? Why isn't today special enough? We live in a world that thrives on keeping you small. You've probably heard those comments, "You're too much, you're overdressed. Why are you dressed like that? What's the special occasion?" Those come from people who have been conditioned to shrink themselves and blend in. There is research called the specialness spiral, and it shows that when you save a high-end candle or a special outfit for a special moment, the bar for what counts as special enough keeps rising. You don't wear it on a Tuesday, you're saving it for your birthday. You don't wear it on your birthday, you're saving it for a wedding. And eventually, that special moment might never come. You're living in this constant state of waiting, postponing joy for a later version of your life that might never arrive. Meanwhile, psychologists have found that people avoid positive experiences because they fear they'll run out of good things. That's scarcity mindset. You're treating joy like a bank account with limited funds instead of a renewable resource. The Stoics had this philosophy: since the future isn't guaranteed, hoarding joy for later is irrational. If you want more joy in your everyday life, stop saving your favorite outfits for later. Stop waiting for a special occasion to allow yourself to feel special. And I'm not saying to wear an outfit like this on a rainy day for a coffee run, or wear an outfit like that if you work as a lawyer. I'm saying that every day is an opportunity to make it special. Because statistically, the odds of you being alive right now are less than 1 divided by a number with hundreds of zeros. Let that sink in. If that isn't special enough, I don't know what is. Number 2, repeating outfits is confidence. Let me break this down from 2 angles for you. First, attachment to novelty creates suffering. If you keep chasing the next trend, you're stuck in a cycle that never ends. And who profits from that? Fast fashion as well as luxury brands. They want you to believe that last season's outfits aren't good enough anymore. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." If you repeat your outfits, you signal your brain, "I'm content with what I have. I know what I like." Because confidence comes from certainty. Certainty about what works for you, what feels aligned with your identity, and what makes you feel your best. Second, no one is watching as closely as you think. There is this psychological phenomenon called the spotlight effect. It's the tendency to overestimate how much others notice you. And the truth is, no one actually cares if you repeat outfits. You're performing for an audience that isn't watching. But what if someone actually notices and judges you? So what? People are going to judge you no matter what you do. So you might as well do whatever you want. But here's the thing. The people we admire for their style, they all have signature looks. We don't love them because they wear something different every day. We love them because we appreciate and recognize their patterns. So if you want to build confidence in your personal style, repeat the outfits that make you feel your best. Identify what you love and why, and replicate it in different ways over and over again. Number 3, less is more. You might think that more options equal freedom, right? Wrong. More options equal anxiety and paralysis. This is called the paradox of choice. When you have a massive wardrobe full of clothes but only wear a few favorites, the sheer amount of choices make getting dressed feel like a high-stakes chore. You spend so much energy deciding what not to wear that you start your day already exhausted. Every choice you make, from what to eat to what to wear, depletes a finite amount of mental energy. And here's the kicker. If you have 50 shirts and pick one, it's easier to imagine that one of the other 49 might have been better. That's called the opportunity cost, and it kills satisfaction. But if you have 5 shirts that you love and you pick one, the opportunity cost is much lower and you're happier with your decision and your personal style. Actually, let me show you this visually. Look at this. A massive wardrobe filled with clothes you don't wear is overwhelming. A smaller, curated one filled with pieces you love to wear, that's freedom. And if you struggle to get dressed every morning, maybe it's time for a wardrobe reset. I actually have an Instagram series on this that I will link below for you. Number 4, labels don't matter. This one tends to destroy people's reality. So sit tight and listen up. I love wearing heels, skirts and crop tops. All of these are considered to be women's clothing in Western societies. But here's the thing. Clothes are just pieces of fabric put together. And there's no gender to fabric, right? Heels were invented for men for horseback riding. The heel prevents you from slipping out of the stirrup. The Sun King wore heels as a symbol of status and power. The gladiators, the strongest men ever, fought to death in what we would consider a miniskirt today. Until the early 1900s, pink was for boys and blue was for girls. Scottish men wear kilts, Indonesian men wear sarongs. Kilts and sarongs are just different types of skirts. I gave an entire TED Talk on this topic, and if you're interested, you can find it in the description box below. But here's the core idea. Gender isn't something you are, it's something you do, it's something you perform. And clothing is one of the primary ways we perform gender. So if gender is something you perform, then you get to choose how to perform it or not perform it at all. Now, this is where it gets deep. So close all tabs, come back to me, stay with me. There is a psychological theory that explains why this matters so much. It's called self-determination theory. It says, for humans to thrive, we need 3 things. 1, autonomy, feeling you're in control of your own life and choices. 2, competence, feeling effective and capable. And 3, relatedness, feeling connected to others. When you reject labels and dress how you want, you claim autonomy. You choose your wardrobe based on your own interests, values, and goals, not a prepackaged social category. But here's where people get it twisted. They think following rigid gender norms gives them relatedness, that sense of belonging. But in psychology, true relatedness requires authenticity. You cannot belong to a group if you have to betray yourself to stay. Most people confuse fitting in with belonging. Fitting in is about blending in and falling in line. It's a demand for uniformity that restricts you. It's not a connection to others, it's a performance for them. If you fit in by following a script, you are not connecting, you are complying in the fear of being cast out. However, true belonging, the one that lets you thrive, requires you to be yourself. If you're following rigid norms just to feel connected, you're not finding a community, you're finding a cage. You're not being appreciated and loved for who you are, you're being tolerated for how well you comply. And that's why my labelless or genderless style feels like a threat to many people. Because true belonging requires the one thing they are too afraid to try: authenticity. Which brings me to the next point. Number 5, you were not born to blend in and fall in line. From the moment we are born, we are taught to shrink ourselves. At least I was. But why? Because humans are wired to conform. Thousands of years ago, being cast out from the tribe meant death. So blending in was survival. But you are not in survival mode anymore. You're not going to die if your coworker doesn't approve of your style. When you stand out through your style, achievements, or confidence, you trigger other people's insecurities. In Australia, they call this tall poppy syndrome. High achievers get resented and cut down by peers. And you've probably experienced this when you've stepped up in any area of your life and people around you noticed. But here's the truth. Shrinking yourself doesn't help anyone. It's people pleasing. It's making yourself miserable to make others comfortable. But if you dare to stand out as you, you're not just boosting your own confidence. You're giving others permission to do the same. You are attracting people and opportunities meant for you and repelling everything else that isn't. Tetris taught me this one important lesson. If you fit in, you disappear. Number 6, your appearance speaks first. Look, humans are superficial. They judge books by their covers. That's just how it is. And honestly, that can work in your favor, because being well-groomed and well-dressed earns you respect and trust. Use that to your own advantage. And I know what you're thinking. Felipe, looks shouldn't matter. And you're right. Ideally, they shouldn't. But realistically, they do. So you have two choices: ignore reality or use the tools available to you for your own advantage. But it doesn't stop at how others see you. There is this concept called enclothed cognition. It shows that the clothes we wear affect how we feel, think, and behave. Wearing a business suit in professional settings can increase your confidence. And whenever I wear heels, I feel a boost in confidence because for me, they exude grace and elegance. So at the end of the day, people do judge a book by its cover. Make sure yours is telling the story you want to tell. Number 7, dress like you're worth it because you are. In a world that profits from self-doubt, self-investment isn't vanity, it's resistance. The author and activist Audre Lorde once said, "Caring for myself isn't self-indulgence, it's self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare." She was right. Oppressive systems and toxic people rely on devaluation. If you believe that you're worthless, you're easier to control. You accept lower payment, you don't fight for your boundaries. But when you invest in yourself, in your appearance, in your health, in your education, you are signaling your brain that you're worth investing in. In psychology, there is this concept called self-signaling. It basically means that we don't always have direct access to who we are, so we observe our own behavior to figure it out. So when you're hoarding your favorite outfits, or when you neglect yourself, you signal to your brain, "I'm not worth the good stuff." But when you invest in yourself, when you put on that outfit that you love, when you take care of your appearance and health, your brain sees that evidence and adjusts your baseline confidence. You walk into rooms commanding respect. You speak up in that meeting. You make the move. You take the risk. You bet on yourself because you have already decided that you're worth investing in. So dress like you're worth it, honey, because you are. Number 8. Don't let beauty standards convince you that there is something wrong with your body. Beauty standards are designed to make you feel inadequate, so you keep buying. The $100 moisturizer, the fillers, the BBL, the red light masks, the Botox, the list goes on and on and on. And the more you compare yourself to others, the worse you're going to feel. There is a difference between investing in yourself and obsessing over looking perfect. I used to hide my ears with long hair because I was bullied for having big ears as a child. And now I wear them with bold jewelry on purpose because they make me special, and there's nothing wrong with that. And the antidote might not be body positivity, it's self-acceptance. And I know that's a difficult and long journey for many people, but it's worth it. Highlight what makes you you. But I will leave you with this. Naomi Wolf found in her book, The Beauty Myth, that beauty standards intensified as women gained power. It's a form of social control. Just some food for thought. Number 9. Dress and show up authentically and you start attracting what's meant for you. I've touched on this throughout the video, but I want to share something personal. As a child, I grew up in a homophobic environment where I was told directly and indirectly that there was something wrong with me, that I needed to blend in, fall in line, and follow the rules. So I did. I was shy, insecure, and I dressed to disappear because I was terrified of standing out. And I was miserable because every day I was betraying who I actually was, until I gave myself permission to be who I truly am. I didn't wait for someone to tell me that it was okay. I didn't wait until I felt ready. I just chose myself, and it all started with one simple decision: how I decided to dress. It trickled down to everything: how I carried myself, how I saw myself, and how others perceived me. That's when everything started to change. I began attracting people who loved me for who I truly was. My confidence grew, and opportunities I never imagined possible started opening up. In 2023, I was invited to give that TED Talk, even though I had zero prior public speaking experience and didn't feel ready at all. But this was a unique opportunity and I couldn't turn it down. So I went on that stage with sweaty palms, but dressed like my true self and with a personal story to share with the audience. And I felt them lean in. I felt them connect. And afterward, people came up to me and said, "I saw myself in your story." And that was the moment I realized I could be the person I needed the most when I was younger for other people. And that's the reason why I do this work. That's why I talk about these topics, and that's why I create content in the first place. Number 10, getting your clothes tailored is the real luxury. Perfectly fitting clothes will give you more confidence than any luxury label ever could. Don't waste your money on flashy logos making the super rich more rich, because luxury labels, they profit from your insecurities. They don't sell flashy logos to wealthy people. They sell them to middle-class people trying to look rich. By choosing tailoring over branding, you are rejecting external validation once again. The luxury isn't in the price tag, it's in the exclusivity of the fit. The fact that this garment was tailored to honor your specific body. I had this coat collecting dust in my wardrobe because I wasn't really happy with the fit. So I had this tailored to create this gorgeous hourglass silhouette, and every time I wear it, I feel like the main character in my own movie. I carry myself differently and it boosts my confidence. I would rather have one coat that fits like this than 5 that are just okay. I invested in having this coat tailored to my specific body, and my brain takes it as evidence that I'm worth investing in. Because I am. So those are my 10 style commandments for 2026 and beyond. And at the beginning of this video there was this question: is personal style dead? You tell me. If style affects how you feel, think and behave, if it opens doors, builds confidence, and attracts the right people, if it's a tool for self-expression, resistance, and freedom, is it that? Or is it the most powerful tool you've been ignoring? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which principle hit different? Which one changed the way you think about personal style? If you're new here or if you've been here for a while and you're still watching, thank you. I truly appreciate it. This video was different from what I used to post and I hope it resonated. And if you want more content like this, deeper conversations about style, identity, and showing up authentically, don't forget to subscribe and follow me on my other social media platforms that are linked below. My voice is dying, so it's time to finish this video. Thank you for being here and don't forget to invest in yourself in 2026 because you're worth it. I'll see you on the next one.